Hello fellow travelers and welcome to Travel to Mexico Now. Today we will talk about the best things to do in Mexico City, one of the most important and visited cities in Mexico and the world. What is there to do and see? Which places should you not miss? Well, you will be greatly surprised because some activities are even free. You don't have to pay a single dime. Would you like to learn more about this? Then watch this video till the end. Let's start, shall we? The Zócalo is Mexico City's main square. It is surrounded by beautiful historical buildings like the National Palace, the Cathedral, and other government buildings. There is always something going on in here. Street performances, dances, concerts, you name it. One of the busiest times to visit this place is mid-September, more precisely the night of September 15th, which is when Mexicans gather for El Grito to commemorate Mexico's independence from Spain. This plaza or this place is beautifully decorated for special events like Christmas and Dia de Muertos or Day of the Dead. When in Mexico City, you don't want to miss out. Right next to the Zócalo, you will find the Cathedral. This church is a masterpiece of architecture and boasts different architectural styles. It is dedicated to the Assumption of the Most Blessed Virgin Mary. You can visit this church on your own, or you can get a guided tour and even climb to the top of the bell towers on certain days of the week. The Angel of Independence is Mexico City's most famous landmark or monument by far. It is located on Paseo de la Reforma, which is one of the main avenues in the city. Although technically this monument is not an angel, but a victory, it is a symbol of national protest and celebration. One of the best times to visit is when the national soccer team scores a victory, as all the locals gather around this monument to celebrate. If you happen to be in town around that time, then don't hesitate to drop by. It's quite an experience. Paseo de la Reforma is a wide avenue that runs across the heart of Mexico City. It was modeled after famous European boulevards like the Champs-Élysées in Paris. This avenue is filled with tourist attractions like restaurants, coffee shops, hotels, office buildings, art exhibitions, you name it. You can rent a bike or a scooter to tour the area. It's a nice place for taking a walk or just relaxing. If you continue walking down Paseo de la Reforma, you will eventually reach Chapultepec. Have you ever visited the Central Park in New York City? Well, Chapultepec is the Mexican version of that park, but it is way larger. Locals visit this urban park to have a picnic, take a walk, work out, rent a bike or a kayak, or simply spend time together with their families and or friends. This park houses lots of green areas, a zoo, and a few museums, along with a former presidential home, Los Pinos, and the iconic Chapultepec Castle, the only castle in Latin America. If you're into theater plays, you will love Mexico City. Mexico City has a strong theatrical tradition that goes back many years. There are theaters of all sizes and kinds throughout the city, and there are plays virtually every day of the week. Whether you're into comedies, horror plays, dramas, you name it, you'll find something in Mexico City for sure. Speaking of museums, Mexico City has more museums than any other city in Mexico. You can find museums of all kinds imaginable. You can find, for example, the National Museum of Anthropology, the National Museum of Art, the Museum of Contemporary Art, the Museum of Modern Art, Frida Kahlo's Blue House, among many, many others. Las Artes is one of Mexico City's iconic venues. You can find a museum on site with beautiful murals and temporary and permanent exhibits. You can also find an auditorium that has held important events with national and international artists. You can attend ballet performances, dance performances, plays, concerts, literature events, among other art events. There's nothing more Mexican than mariachi music. If you would like to experience this, then I recommend you head over to Garibaldi, which is a plaza very close to Bellas Artes in the historic center. There you will find lots of restaurants and bars where you can sit down while you enjoy some live music and eat delicious dishes or drink some tequila or beer. Another important Mexican tradition is Lucha Libre, which is a kind of wrestling. Wrestlers dress up in colorful costumes and entertain the audience with impressive movements. You don't want to miss out. There are tons of markets throughout the city. If you want to buy fruits, vegetables, flowers, foods, souvenirs, whatever you want, you will find it there. If you want cheap souvenirs, then I recommend heading over to one of the many markets throughout the city. Mexico City has many famous neighborhoods. One of them is the area known as Roma-Condesa. Well, technically they're two separate neighborhoods, but they're right next to each other. They're famous for their architecture. You will see lots of French-style buildings, and well, they're beautiful. They're both beautiful neighborhoods with lots of restaurants, coffee shops, art galleries. They have a bohemian atmosphere to them. Another neighborhood that you can visit is Polanco. This is a luxurious area where you can do some shopping. You will find important brands like Louis Vuitton and all those luxurious brands. Another famous neighborhood is Zona Rosa, where there are restaurants, bars, and well, it's mostly famous for its gay scene. Coyoacán is in the southern part of Mexico City. Although it's still Mexico City, it feels like a whole different town. It feels more like a small town, I would say. There are cobblestone streets, and there are colorful houses. That is where Frida Kahlo grew up. There you can find the Blue House, Frida Kahlo's Blue House. You can eat churros and drink hot chocolate. You will love Coyoacán. If you ever visit Mexico City, that is a must-see. Not too far from Coyoacán, you will find Xochimilco. Xochimilco is famous for its lively scene, for its flowers, for its music. There you can ride a special kind of boat, which is called a trajinera, while you eat something delicious, drink some tequila, and listen to mariachi. You will love this place. You have to go to this place if you visit Mexico City. Last but not least, I recommend you visit Teotihuacán. Technically, the pyramids of Teotihuacán are not located in Mexico City, but rather the state of Mexico. But most people who visit Mexico City make it a day trip. If you're into archaeology, history, and the like, you have to visit this place. You will be mesmerized. You will learn a lot. You can eat pre-Hispanic foods like insects, worms, grasshoppers, and you can even ride a hot air balloon while you look at the pyramids. You will love this place. Well, that's all for today, fellow travelers. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Also, if you would like to learn more tips and info on Mexico travel, please visit my website, www.traveltomexiconow.com. I will leave my contact info below as well as my social media info. Bon voyage!